Hey there and welcome back to XCOM 2. My name is Pete and today we complete another episode of our Legend Ironman walkthrough of XCOM 2 War of the Chosen. Last time we left off, after completing the Advent Forge facility assault, we recovered a mysterious Advent prototype, and in doing so we also removed 1 point of progress from the Avatar project. And that is also what we will be greeted by here today, as we jump straight into the world map to plot our next course of action.
With the loss of this facility, there can be no question that the aliens' work has suffered a substantial blow. We must now pursue them to the end, Commander.
Okay, and it looks like we don't get any time to rest. We have another mission popping up immediately. This one a council mission, and as you can see it takes us deep into assassin territory. An appearance by the assassin herself is also somewhat likely on this one. However, we will also only be facing 9 other enemies, maybe even just 8, I'm not sure if she's counted. And as a reward we will receive another engineer as well as a big pile of intel.
Setting course for Sector 1, the Arctic.
Now, with the number of enemies we are facing on this mission relatively low, I think we can do something interesting, because we still need to unlock an achievement for completing a mission with at least 3 sparks in the roster, so that is exactly what we're going for today. And so, accompanying our 2 bondmates Schwaminian and Twitchy, as well as Starfall and Julian, we have 2 more community creation sparks that will now see their first taste of real action. Right next to Julian we have Arn13, nicknamed Terminator, and then in blue and silver we have Roland Leroy, nicknamed Jenkins. Both of them have no abilities whatsoever except for overdrive, but I am moderately confident that with the highest tier of weapons and armor they should be somewhat serviceable.
Deployed.
Menace, ready to deploy.
The Resistance is asking for our help in rescuing an important VIP of theirs that was recently captured by Advent forces in this region. Recon indicates plenty of hostile activity in the area. We'll need to lock down the AO, secure the VIP, and eliminate all enemy contacts standing in our way. Menace 1-5, we have a confirmed location for the VIP. Move to rendezvous. Eliminate all hostile contacts.
Alright, so we have ourselves a VIP captured by Advent, and that VIP is in fact the engineer that we will receive as a reward for completing the mission, so we should be careful not to accidentally kill them. Our squad then also starts things off in concealment, and of course we want to maintain that, especially with the assassin potentially showing up. Still, we cannot afford to take too long. As you can see in the top right corner, we only have 12 turns until we need to extract all units. And those 12 turns include breaking our VIP out of jail and then getting everyone to the evac zone. So, no time to waste, let's get moving with Ranger Starfall. With his first move here, he only detects a few civilians, as well as an Advent watchtower a little further in the back. Reason enough, I think, to keep going and to climb 1 floor higher, although as we follow suit with Julian, we also spot our first enemy, just briefly, and then it vanishes again into the shadows, but a health bar of 10 hit points and no armor kind of give it away already. I am pretty sure that we're dealing with a Viper. And indeed, the outline now a bit more visible here, so we might have our first enemy contact soon. For the time being, though, we will continue to move up as far as we can. There is little risk of anyone detecting us at this point. The enemy turn then also passes without anyone coming into sight. I have to say that is a bit unexpected, especially with Starfall here not detecting anyone either as he moves up further. And interestingly enough, nothing changes about that situation even as we move up with the rest of our team, so I suppose we are left with no other choice but to simply end our turn. This time, however, we can go on Overwatch.
Moving to Overwatch.
Hey, you hear anything?
Now, this time at least we hear some enemies move, but still we don't actually see them, so I guess the sensible thing to do would be to move in that exact direction.
Enemy sighted.
Okay, now that reveals something, honestly a bit more than I had hoped for. 6 of the 9 enemies on this mission have now been spotted, a pod of Advent soldiers straight ahead, and an Andromedon accompanied by 2 Vipers down on our left. Now, engaging them all at this point, especially with this squad, would be a catastrophic idea, so I guess the best course of action here is to wait for them to perhaps split up a bit further, which means we will spend 1 more turn on Overwatch.
Got it covered.
Got it covered.
I'm on it.
Okay, so that looks promising. Advent is moving up onto the roof and further into the shadows here. Most likely not too far, so we should still be careful, but for now they are out of sight. Vipers and Andromedon, meanwhile, do not move at all, and so I think it's time that we make them move. Let's give Terminator Arn the opening shot here. With a bit of luck, he might kill one of the Vipers immediately. Right, unfortunately only 9 points of damage, which leaves the Viper standing. Nonetheless, I think we have ourselves a manageable situation here. So let's follow things up with Jenkins, who can now use the rocket launcher. Not only will this damage both Viper and Andromedon, but it will also blow up the car next to the Viper. And I think that should take it down for good. Alright, Viper down, Andromedon a bit more accessible, if you will. So let's have Twitchy go next, who can take care of that last point of armor. And then we drop down with Julian to hopefully deliver the killing blow. Alright, so that's the Andromedon down to its shell. At this point there are several pathways to taking it out. One of them would be to simply hack it to disable it with Schwaminian over here.
We could use one of those.
However, Schwaminian is not built up as a combat hacker and also does not have the Skulljack on him, and thus his success chance here is only 73%, and I'm not quite willing to take those odds, at least not this early in the mission. So instead what we'll do is we will use Dual Strike, which has both him and Twitchy take a shot, and Schwaminian's is fueled by blue screen rounds.
I definitely got that.
And there we go, that leaves us only with the one hit point Viper, who is now an easy kill for Starfall. Even if the shot misses, his stock will guarantee that it goes down.
Check it before you get too close.
And that's our turn, no need to make use of the implacable movement at this point.
Consider yourselves lucky.
Alright, so not entirely unexpected, the assassin is here, at this point sporting 5 different strengths, and especially the recently added low profile could get interesting.
At the very least, you will die with honor.
Heads up out there. It's the Elder's assassin, and she's moving into the AO. Menace 1-5, be advised, hostile interceptors are inbound on your current position. Firebrand has a limited window to provide extraction.
I am coming for you.
Right, so 1/3 of the clock has expired and we have a Chosen on the scene. Although, should she become an active combatant, the timer will be frozen, so the situation is not as bad as it might look.
I guess that'll be okay.
As we then move up with Ranger Starfall, the Advent pod comes back into sight, and this time we do not have concealment to hide behind. Still, I think we are well enough equipped to take them on, even though the shield bearer's position on the roof here could get a bit tricky. We also want to keep in mind that our VIP is in the jail cell right behind shield bearer and officer here, so we should be very careful about using explosives. As an engineer, I believe they will only have 5 hit points, so a single plasma grenade could kill them. Now, after moving a bit further with Julian, we are getting Leroy up onto the high ground here and activate overdrive. He is now in a flanking high ground position against the officer, and with just a little bit of luck, 2 shots should be enough to kill them. So let's see what he can do. Alright, and he starts off strong with a critical, so now he only needs to hit a 95%er. And well, I guess without shenanigans like this, it wouldn't be the true Spark experience. I assume Julian is rubbing off on his compatriots. Either way, he can now blast the shield bearer with his shredder gun, of course making sure not to hit the prison cell. Okay, so I'll be honest, this is not quite what I had expected. Yes, we deal some good damage and get the shield bearer off of the high ground, but now they are completely hidden from us. Now, I assume they are somewhere by the crates behind the wall over here, but without a clear line of sight, we can't really attack them at this point. So instead, let's focus on the enemies that we can see. Terminator Arn has a superior stock equipped, so even a 38%er here is a good shot for him, at least if the enemy only has 4 hit points left.
They have served with honor, their duty to the elders fulfilled.
And at least for the moment, that leaves us only with the Lancer, who we can now target with Schwaminian. A superior scope and a perception PCS ensure that we still have a decent hit chance. And with that shot connecting, we can now finish the job with Starfall, at least hopefully. Anything but minimum damage would be enough for the kill.
Definitely got that one.
You could have learned from me if we weren't destined to be enemies.
Okay, now that still leaves the shield bearer, but I think we can safely end our turn at this point. Let's move Starfall into slightly better cover and give Twitchy a better position too, and then we'll overwatch in case the shield bearer reappears. Okay, that very much sounded like the shield bearer deploying the energy shield. Unfortunately though, they don't show themselves and neither does the assassin, so let's go looking for them with Julian. Now, the first move here does not detect anything, but we are getting close to the prison cell, and we actually need line of sight on the door to hack it to get it open, which prompted me to do something that I regretted pretty much instantly.
Ah, the open spaces, the fresh air.
So, not only have we found the shield bearer, but we have also spotted a Codex and another Andromedon, and to make matters even worse, Julian is now going to shoot that Codex. So, in just a second, one Codex will turn into 2, and as if all of that wasn't bad enough already, it does get worse, because up next we're moving up with Twitchy, and look what she finds.
Okay, I'll go.
It's only logical that you eliminate the weakest of the Chosen first. Now, 2 remain.
We've spotted the Chosen. Get ready to fight.
So, we have revealed the assassin, probably a lucky find. What's less lucky is that she is currently benefiting from 5 additional points of shielding thanks to the shield bearer, so it might be a good idea to take care of that shield bearer first, which puts us in a bit of a pickle because, to be honest, of all the enemies currently active on the map, it is by far the least threatening. Still, I think this is what we'll have to do, so let's blow up the wall here and expose the shield bearer with a grenade from Twitchy.
Get ready for a surprise!
Following that, we then activate a run and gun with Ranger Starfall and get him into a flanking position against the assassin.
Solid copy.
Although we are not going to strike at her just yet. Instead, we throw our axe at the shield bearer and once again hope for everything but minimum damage.
Hey, take a look at this.
Alright, shield bearer dead, shield removed, and it also dropped some loot. Up next, we need to take care of the assassin's armor, and we can do that with a high ground shot from Terminator Arn.
Is your fear so great, you must rely on these soulless constructs?
Okay, critical hit, that gets us off to a great start. And we are now going to follow that up with another shot from Twitchy, who now receives 1 extra action thanks to Schwaminian giving her teamwork. Now, as you can see on the left, the assassin's defense has increased by 20 points up to plus 40. Still, Twitchy does have a very important guaranteed hit. At this point then it's time to take at least a small risk with rapid fire from Starfall. For each shot we get a plus 5 damage increase thanks to the assassin's bewildered weakness, and we also have an 85% crit chance for both shots. That's of course only if we can hit them.
You will share in my pain.
Holy scrap!
The Elders empower me to fight on.
Okay, so my hope for double criticals did unfortunately not become a reality. Still, 22 points on a crit and then 10 points of damage on a grazed shot, that is nothing to laugh at, and it does leave the assassin in a very vulnerable state, so let's just give Twitchy teamwork again. This now ends Schwaminian's turn using both of his actions on teamwork, but in exchange, Grenadier Grace should now be able to finish off the assassin.
Check it before you get too close.
One time, it would have been unthinkable that I might ever fall in battle. Now, it appears you have bested me once again.
Great job, Commander. But there's no trace of that Chosen left. I've got a feeling we haven't seen the last of them. Still, at least we ruined their plans today.
Indeed we did, although it might just happen that the aliens ruin our plans in a moment, as we still have 2 codexes and an Andromedon lurking around, and even though it is pretty much guaranteed that one of the codexes will go for Psionic Bob, the other might still take a shot, so let's attempt to prevent that with the 68%er.
Targeting error.
Right, that misses, and that brings us to the Andromedon, and that means in all likelihood Julian is now going to take a hit.
Menace 1-5 status confirmed. VIP is in tow. Proceed to the extraction point.
Okay, so a melee attack for 5 points of damage, I think we can live with that. It was also strong enough to bring down the walls of the prison cell, so from here on out our VIP engineer can move freely. As expected then, the first codex teleports in and launches the Psionic Bomb, while the other one thankfully goes on Overwatch instead of taking a shot.
Menace 1-5, we're picking up an enemy transport inbound on your current position.
With the VIP now under our control, Advent also picks this exact moment in time to send in reinforcements, but I think that's quite alright. At this point we shouldn't have too much trouble cleaning things up. So let's begin by activating Overdrive on Julian, who will then use the last round in his magazine to take out the codex in the back. Because of the Overwatch, it is very important that we take that one out first. Now unfortunately, before we can continue, I had to briefly restart the game. You can see it here, for some reason it just started to lag like crazy. With that fixed, I then wanted to take aim at the Andromedon with Leroy. However, as you can see, the Andromedon is actually currently benefiting from Julian as a full cover object, so even though it would have made sense to get rid of the armor first, let's move Julian out of the way with the punch. For some reason then, afterwards, Leroy no longer had a line of sight at the Andromedon, so the only action we can sensibly take with him is to take out the other codex. Afterwards then, we activate Overdrive on our third spark, Terminator Arn, and we use his 3 actions to first of all reload. Then we move him out of the Psionic Bomb's blast radius, and with his final action we take a 90%er against the Andromedon. That's another critical, and that means we can now kill the Andromedon with a slash attack from Ranger Starfall. And with his implacable bonus movement we can then also grab the loot before it expires. And we recover some interesting stuff here, especially the superior autoloader could be useful. Still, let's not get ahead of ourselves, we still have the Andromedon shell to take out, and I would prefer to give the kill to Schwaminian, so let's begin with Julian, who can now launch a very tightly placed bombard. That deals 7 points of damage, leaving 14, with a bit of luck enough for Schwaminian to get the kill.
One down, thousands to go.
And there we go, except for the incoming reinforcements, that is now all enemies on the map taken care of. So let's finish our turn by reloading Twitchy and by getting our VIP up onto the roof. Again, except for the incoming reinforcements, we do not have to fear stumbling upon any other enemies, so our engineer can safely move wherever they please. For our reinforcements then, we have a Purifier, Priest and Mech incoming. Once again, nothing that we can't handle. The psionic bomb then also explodes, but unfortunately does not deal any damage to our enemies, who at this point seek cover or go on overwatch, but I'll be honest, I don't foresee any issues taking them out. So let's take care of this quickly. We begin things with Terminator on to remove the mech's overwatch. Then, after reloading both our other sparks, we have Leroy take a shot at the Priest. Twitchy meanwhile can land a guaranteed hit against the Purifier and apply holo-targeting. And so Schwaminian can now take care of the first kill with 13 hit points left on the mech.
Big deal.
Thanks to holo-targeting, Julian now also has a guaranteed kill against the Purifier. And finally, Starfall can finish off the Priest, unless of course he decides to go into sustain mode.
It's dead. It has to be dead.
Alright, lovely. With his implacable movement we can now move right back to where he came from, while VIP engineer Christopher Cavanaugh can already get himself into the evac zone, and with that we complete objective number 2 of 3. And there we go, the game immediately jumps to our next turn, indicating that no more enemies are present on the map. We also did not get any further reinforcements, so let's jump straight ahead to the end here. Of course, I also checked the watchtowers, but the hacking rewards were nothing that we could take back home with us. And so, with 2 turns left on the timer, we can get everyone out of here and finish the mission.
Status confirmed. Mission accomplished.
And there we go, with another mission behind us, the assassin defeated once more, and with the Rise of the Robots achievement unlocked. An achievement that, at least according to my Steam stats, only 2.7% of players actually have, and now we are one of them. I have to say though, with the right setup it's not that difficult to grab.
Even now, our enemy lurks in the shadows, plotting to destroy all we have built, to return us to the chaos of the old world. Only together can we oppose them. United in the Elders' love for us, we shall prevail, no matter the cost.
The Elders Chosen are incredibly resilient. Despite our victory over them today, we still have much to learn if we wish to destroy them permanently.
And there we are, no promotions, and except for Julian nobody took any hits. Meanwhile we recover the scantily clad Christopher Cavanaugh, more on him in just a second.
Another impressive effort, Commander. My expectations were high, and yet you have exceeded them.
And yes indeed, on top of our new engineer with the revealing outfit, we also acquire 110 units of intel, conveniently enough the exact amount we still need to make contact with our last 2 remaining regions. Mr. Cavanaugh, meanwhile, nicknamed Wolfboy, is of course another Patreon creation. He was submitted by patron Cthulhu, and his biography reads as follows. Born in Ireland, but moved to northeastern Pennsylvania as a child. After graduating college, Christopher waited tables to make ends meet. That is, until the war started. The attack was swift, relentless, and if he had not been in the freezer, he would have been just as dead. How he managed to get past several patrols and whose blood he was covered with when he was found by XCOM forces, that is between him and his god. With nothing left behind him, Christopher decided to move forward with XCOM, even with 0 military training. The road wasn't easy, there was lots to prove to plenty of people. It started as little more than manual labor, but slowly over time, with constant effort, Christopher showed XCOM that he could be much more. So what if it took near 2 decades, his work kept him in good shape. So here we are on our first mission, let's not fudge this up, Wolfboy. So Christopher Cavanaugh, welcome to the ranks of XCOM, and you will get a job with some responsibility right away, as we are now staffing Wolfboy in the defense matrix to increase our turret stats. Trust me, he will be able to put in good work for us very soon. For today though, I think we have reached a good point to make the cut, not necessarily because the video is super long already, but much more so because I actually have another mission planned right after this one, and I would like to leave things on that little cliffhanger for today. So, as always, I hope you enjoyed today's video, and if you did, then I would be very happy if you could leave a thumbs up. If you like what I'm doing and want to support me and my channel further, then you can of course go ahead and subscribe to stay up to date, grab some merch over on shop.petecomplete.com, or check out and maybe even pledge to the Pete Complete Patreon. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.